All right, how about a tag video? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Theo. I was tagged by Alex over at Tall Guy Reads for the quarter year crisis book tag. It's a little bit late to be doing this. I think quarter year would have been April, and it's currently middle of May. So we can consider this like a third year crisis because it is a crisis indeed, because I'm trying to get through stuff and I think I'm falling a little bit behind. So let's get into this one. We have, I think, 9 questions and we'll just get right into it. So number 1, how many books have you read so far this year? So far, I'm almost done The Winter King by Bernard Cornwell. So that would put me at 16 books. Now, March and April were a little bit slow for me. I didn't read as much as I was thinking I would. April, I had my beautiful honeymoon. If you haven't seen the vlog for that, it wasn't very well done, but at least you can see kind of what we were up to. But that was amazing. And so that took up some time. Work has been a little bit crazy as well. So I'm not super far behind. I think I'm trending to hit my yearly goal of 50-55 books, but I'm definitely going to need to make up a little bit of ground. But so far the answer is 16. So I think normally at this time of year I'd probably be closer to 20. But anyway, it is what it is. Question 2, have you already found a book you think might be a 2022 favorite? If not, what was your favorite book you read that wasn't quite 5 stars? Honestly, no, I don't think I've found the book that is going to be my favorite for 2022. I actually don't think I've read anything with consideration to the list of books I have planned for the rest of the year. I don't think I've read anything that's going to crack the top 5, I don't think. So, but that remains to be seen. Obviously, the book that I like, the most recent book I read previous to The Winter King, and I had a review come out a couple days ago, was the first book of the Lycanius trilogy. I did end up giving that book 5 stars. Well, I gave that one 4.5 stars, but really it was 5 stars on Goodreads. But that one was actually really enjoyable. I really liked it. I hope the rest of the trilogy continues. But I would have to say also the first book of the Nevernight series, I think I gave that one maybe a 4 star. I did wrap up the trilogy. I hope to do a review on that very soon because I have some thoughts. And it turned out a little bit different than I thought it would, actually. So I definitely have some opinions that I want to share and discuss. But the first book, the entry into that was a really nice, not a surprise, but a really enjoyable entry. And I think I ended up giving that 4 stars. And so far, because of the uniqueness of the world, how rich the characters were, and how quickly I wanted to get back into that, I have to say that that was among one of my favorites, I think. It introduced me to Jay Kristoff's writing, who is still an automatic buy author for me. So yeah, I have to say that that one was probably one of my favorites as well. Question number 3, what is your least favorite book you've read in 2022 so far? I have to say that this is going to be Fight Club. I read this one with a couple friends of mine and we had some discussion around it. I ended up watching the movie shortly thereafter. And yeah, the book just didn't land for me. I initially gave it kind of an emotional 2 stars and then took a step back and gave it 3 after letting it simmer a little bit. For a number of reasons that I probably won't get into right now, but it was written in a way that was very jarring. If you know anything about the story, you'll kind of understand why it was written that way. It was very jarring, very disorienting. It was very choppy. The writing style itself, notwithstanding, what it was trying to do and kind of the vibe that it was trying to convey, the writing style itself, the author, I don't think really clicked for me. So for a number of reasons, that was kind of my biggest disappointment. It was a small book, but given, the status that Fight Club, the movie in particular, and the book, but really the movie has in pop culture, I was sort of disappointed with this one. I was hoping I would like it a lot more than I did. But sometimes things just don't quite land. So it is what it is. Question number 4, what is your most read genre this year so far? Well, I'm happy to say that I've read a little bit of everything. I've read a little bit of nonfiction. I've read some sci-fi. I've read some horror. I've read a thriller. I've read, but again, mostly it's been fantasy. And I think it's going to continue to trend that way. Most of my the books that I want to read for the remainder of the year and the series that I want to finish up are really in the fantasy category. So you're probably going to see about 2/3 fantasy from me. Question number 5. What is a book you have read in 2022 that surprised you? I'm actually going to have to go with a little novella here by Giles Christian, and that was called Hellmouth. And this one was very surprising to me. I think I heard Patrick Leo talk about this one, I believe. And now Giles Christian has written some well-known books, some Arthurian books as well. I think one is called like Camelot or Lancelot, I can't remember. And he's written a bunch of different books. And reading this one, it was so impressive. It was very dark and almost like a horror. I can't really say much without spoiling it because there's definitely a bit of a not a twist, but you kind of at the end realize kind of what was happening the whole time. And it was just very dark, very gritty, very kind of horror, feeling. And right away, I vibed so well with Giles Christian's writing. I liked the flow. I liked the words he was using. I liked the way that everything was structured. And I liked I was very impressed with what he was able to do in such a short novella. It made me go out and buy a trilogy of his that I've heard nothing but good things about, which is a Viking-inspired trilogy called The Rise of Sigurd. So that one I went out and bought right away. As soon as I read Hellmouth, I thought, I got to read more from this guy. So that one was very impressive, not only because of the introduction to this author and me just vibing so well with it so quickly, but also just what he was able to do in such a short novella was impressive by itself. Question number 6. What is a 2022 release that is already out and you have not read but want to? I have to cheat a little bit. I think I'm going to steal Alex's answer for this one and have to go with Kingdoms of Death by Christopher Rocchio. That is the 4th book, I believe, in the Empire of Silence, the Sun Eater series by Christopher Rocchio. I do have this copy here, which is signed actually by Christopher Rocchio, and I got this from Quail Ridge Books. The shipping to Canada from North Carolina was actually very reasonable. So if you're ever thinking about getting something signed from him in the future, I definitely, send them an email and they'll work with you. But yeah, so this one, I haven't read, I own all of them on the shelf behind me. I haven't checked out this series yet, as you guys know, or if you don't, but this is probably the top priority sci-fi for me. And I'm hoping to get to the series this year before the end of the year, because he has his book number 5. This one was supposed to be one big book, but for a number of reasons, it was split up into 2. So he's going to have his book 5 come out at the tail end of this year. And so I'd like to get caught up on that one. If possible, probably won't get caught up, but I'd like to at least start. I have a wonderful hard copy of the Empire of Silence behind me that I really, really want to get into. So that is one that I'm very excited to jump into. And a book that came out this year that I have not read, but it looks nice on the shelf. All right, question number 7. What is one goal you are succeeding at in 2022 so far? This is going to be kind of a cop-out answer, but continuing to prioritize reading. So, if you watched my intro video, I said that I took a long hiatus from reading, for pleasure and that kind of thing. And around, obviously 2020, when a lot of us had extra time for a number of reasons, I was reading a lot more. I got back into reading, fell in love with some genres again. And I decided, reading is good for you. It's good for the memory. It's good for a bit of escapism, which we all need now and then. It's good for, just mental health and that kind of thing. So I said, you know what, I want to continue to read a little bit more. And I never thought that I would start a booktube channel and get so involved in the community or derive so much, pleasure and value from it. But, here we are. And I have continued to prioritize reading quite a bit, as much as I can. I have other hobbies as well. And, a wife and a full-time job and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with where I've gotten to. And I like the fact that I've started this channel to be able to kind of document my own thoughts and nail down some, nail the memory a little bit more of, what I'm reading as I go along, especially as I work my way through some of these really, really big series. So yeah, I'm proud of myself for being able to prioritize reading, and I have been now for, a couple of years, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. Question number 8, what is one goal you made that you want to focus on more? One goal that I made, at the tail end of last year was to get back into jiu-jitsu a little bit more. So if you don't already know, I train Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I did martial arts kind of my whole life growing up, and in the last couple of years, I've fell deeply in love with jiu-jitsu, and I've met this amazing family, amazing community of people at this gym. And I had an injury. I tore my meniscus on my right knee. I tore my meniscus kind of before Christmas last year. I'd say probably October, November. I didn't realize it at the time. I was still training. It was still sore. I was wondering kind of what the hell was going on. And I did physio, and I'm trying to avoid needing surgery at all costs. So because of that, I've been off the mats, off training for, going maybe on 4 to 5 months now. And so my goal is really to get back into jiu-jitsu, start training again. I've seen a lot of my peers and stuff get promoted recently, and it makes me want to go back so bad. I miss those people. I miss being active. I'm also trying to, watch my weight a little bit and get active and that kind of stuff. And it's just for your mental and physical health. There's nothing quite like jiu-jitsu. I just love it. And so that is a goal of mine, to get back into it as soon as I can. Question number 9. Are there any other booktubers, any new booktubers you have come across that you want to promote? Yes, very much so. So obviously Alex at Tall Guy Reads, who tagged me. Thank you, man. His content is really enjoyable to watch. He's very articulate, just a well-spoken guy. I think he's 6'8", hence the name of the channel. So if you're into that, go check him out. He seems very well read into most, the genres that I am. So please go check him out. There's also Anna Marie over at Distilled Reads, a nice Canadian girl who pairs a very unique adult beverage with the books that she's talking about. She has a very, very nice aesthetic, very well spoken, very nice to listen to. Her videos are excellent. And James McCullough is a new one that I've been watching recently. I think he's fairly new, only has a couple videos probably, but the quality of his content is excellent. Again, very well spoken, very calm, relaxing kind of discussion vibe in his videos. And so please go check him out. He's excellent. And finally, I want to just shout out, he's not a new channel, but Roger over at Rogers Reads. I just find his energy to be infectious. He's just a hilarious dude. He talks fantasy and sci-fi and all this kind of stuff. He has very, very good videos, very good content. He has an excellent energy to his channel, like I said. So go check him out. He's also very, very good. And so I guess I'm going to tag someone, and this is also someone that I would urge you to go check out. And I didn't want to put him in the shout out because I'm going to tag him anyway. And that is Nathan over at the Bookish Gnome. He's a fairly new channel. He has very good videos so far. He has a very good way of kind of discussing. He does a little bit, longer form reviews and stuff too. And he just has very good videos. Go check him out. I'm tagging him over at the Bookish Gnome. This is not necessarily a quarter-year crisis anymore. It's more of a third-year crisis, but I'm curious to hear your answers to these questions, and let us know, what the first third of your 2022 has been like. So anyway, guys, that's it for me. Thanks for hanging out for this quick little tag video, and I will catch you on the next one.